Yeah, this is a hard situation to describe, but it's a real thing that I think both of us believe in.
I do. I really do. I think about it a lot. Do you? So to anyone listening, maybe I can just explain what happened. So one day, Gabe and I were walking in. Gabe's the person I'm talking to here. That
I'm
would be
Gabe. Hi. I'm in the story too.
Gabe. I think we need some sound effects for this. So we were walking in Flushing, and I think it was because my wife was at a job interview, and Gabe and I, who's my brother, this guy, we were walking along, going for a walk, chatting, and this was during the time when the primaries were going on in 2016. And we saw a supermarket, and the name of the supermarket was something that we had never heard or even imagined before. Western Beef is the name. Western Beef, and we thought, how can this place be real? How could it possibly exist?
It had such a
There was
cartoony logo. It seemed fake. It
an
was like
aura.
somebody just dropped it in, like Western Beef. This is a grocery
Supermarket.
store in the middle of Queens. I don't
We
understand.
thought, what is this? Do they sell just beef? What's going on here? So we go in, and it turns out it's an entire normal supermarket, bizarrely, with an entire gigantic room that is a freezer section. The whole room is a freezer section. And they have tea that's branded Western Beef, sort of like how you have generic brands in CVS. You have tea that's branded Western Beef. You have all kinds of things branded as Western Beef, this sort of bizarre thing. And when we stepped out of it, we felt that we had exited our original universe and come into.
There was such a maze of pathways through there. You didn't know where you were. You
Mm-mm.
turned around 8 different times, and
Where
by
are
the
we?
time you came out, it just felt like you'd been through. It felt like we walked out into, and things were going on in the 2016 primary.
Yes.
When we walked into Western Beef,
This is great.
everything,
You got the right tone, Gabe. What is this?
huh?
Is this a C? What is this?
That was a C.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about music.
Well, that was
How do you know that?
felt like a C because
Wow.
I think that whatever universe we stepped into, it's got to do with the musical
Everything
tones in a
was
sense.
going perfectly for Bernie against Hillary in the I think the New York primary season was coming up. This is when like the bird landed on his microphone.
Yep.
Everything was perfect. It was all going
lining
to
up.
plan.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we came out, the news changed, and it was negative.
And it started going dark, and a sharp note. Yeah. Yes.
It's descending.
It's exactly what happened. It's sort of like in Stranger Things when they come into the upside down. We felt like we had exited Western Beef in a different universe than we had entered, as though the Western Beef were in a sense a nexus between
Yeah, it was like
planes,
that.
and there's a dark New
I
York
think.
and there's a light New York, essentially.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I bought one item there, which was basically like Lipton tea.
Western
But this
Beef
was
bread.
Western Beef brand
Yeah, right.
Lipton tea, which
And
doesn't make sense. If you have a tea bag, it shouldn't say Western Beef on it, and it certainly shouldn't be in New York.
this won't make sense to anyone listening to this, but from the universe that Gabe and I come from, that sort of thing is highly irregular
We're the
and
only two
bizarre.
people here that are from the other.
We come from a place which honestly is much better than this universe. There's this reality that exists that we come from on the other side of the Western Beef that I know it's hard to believe, but it is way better. As though if there were a coin flip, every coin flip, or at least slightly over 50%, would come up heads, which is positive. And that's just the way that that's the valence of the entire universe. And that's how we felt when we came out of Western Beef. We felt that we had exited the freezer section into a universe darkly, in a sense. And ever since then, I think both of us have shared that perception of reality. I think about it more than I'd like to.
It definitely happened, and I mean, I think we talked about the only way to reverse what occurred
But the
would be
sound
to
effects
go back.
really helped. I really appreciate
Yeah,
that. That really made it interesting.
no
Good.
problem.
Yeah.
The only thing we can do from here would be to go back to that Western Beef, and we'd have to do the exact same path, which would be very random. But if we walk backwards through the doors and go through everything we did and come back out the other side, we might be able to end up in
What
the
if
other
we came
universe.
out in a worse one, though? What if there is sort of a universe which still exists in 1980s New York with all of the graffiti? It's still there, you know?
Yeah,
It could be.
could be. Yeah.
Who's still? Let's see. Who would be the mayor at that point? I guess it would be Bloomberg, but 125 years old.
Bloomberg.
And
Wait, yeah. When did he come?
he's
Who
125.
was the mayor in the 80s? Was it Daley? Is the Chicago guy, right? Who was the mayor in the 80s in New York?
The
I don't
guy
remember.
in the he was it was oh crap, I know it. Ed Koch. Ed Koch.
The guy that has the bridge guy.
The guy who said, "How am I doing?" He'd always say that to people on the street. How am I doing?
Doing great, Ed. We're gonna build a bridge for you. I actually like that. I like
loving
that
the
bridge.
prostitution in Times Square. It's great.
Well, sure. The that bridge though, you can get into Manhattan for free from that bridge.
But that's something.
Well,
There's something
if
to
you're
it, though.
a poor person living in New York, driving a van and living in a van, and you want to get to Manhattan for free, that's the bridge you'd want to take.
Well, I don't know anybody like that, so
Yeah, me neither.
yeah.
Sounds like a stupid way to live.
Yeah.